Welcome to the Lumbridge Night X marks the spot quest guide. All you need for this quest is a spade, which can be obtained for free from Draynor Manor or bought from any of the general stores littered across RuneScape. At the end you'll be rewarded with 1 quest point, an antique lamp allowing you to award 300 XP to a chosen stat, 200 coins and a beginner clue scroll. Welcome to the Lumbridge Night. Remember to subscribe and like our videos if you don't want to miss out on any of the hints, tips, tricks and guides that we're going to be bringing you on this channel. So without further ado, let the questing begin. Looking at the quest log, we start the quest by speaking to a man named Veos inside the Sheared Ram pub in Lumbridge. Now, I'm going to start from Lumbridge Courtyard. I'm circling it on the screen there. You can see it just in the top right, sort of middle right of the screen. It's showing you it on the map there. That is the Sheared Ram pub. It's 10 seconds from Lumbridge Courtyard. Without further ado, I'm going to head over there, through the door, and speak to the man. Normally, whenever I do a transition, I would speed up the video, but since it's so close, I'm just going to walk there in normal time. As I've made clear at the start, this is a very simple quest. There's no real requirements other than to bring a spade and to have enough inventory space to obviously find the treasure. X marks the spot. We're obviously looking for some treasure. So, speak to the man named Veos. He will ask you to help him on a quest. Basically, he is travelled to Lumbridge on a treasure hunt after finding a scroll in the Greater Kourend. Kourend, I think I'm pronouncing that correctly. A kingdom far to the west of the mainland. However, due to not being familiar with the area, he's stuck on what to do next. Obviously, we're going to offer to help him, and he is going to offer us the clue scroll in exchange, and we're basically going to run through. This quest is essentially kind of like a demi clue scroll quest, as in it's a little walkthrough of how to do clue scrolls. Fire through the narrative, and he basically kind of says what I've just explained there. Eventually, he will give us the clue scroll and wish us good luck. So, now we've got the clue scroll. So, despite my early warnings, any eagle-eyed observers will notice that my inventory is empty. I do not have a spade. So, please forgive as the video cuts in and cuts out as I go to the bank on the 3rd floor of Lumbridge Castle and retrieve my spade. Anyone who doesn't have a spade at this point, you can either buy one or head to Draynor Manor. If you're interested, I can throw a link up into the video now to my quest guide for Ernest the Chicken, where you will pick up a spade for free. So you could link these 2 quests together, maybe do Ernest the Chicken first, get the spade, and then come back and do this quest. Now, I'm going to activate the first clue scroll, which says, within the town of Lumbridge lives a man named Bob. He walks out of his door and takes 1 step east, 7 steps north, 5 steps west, 1 step south. Once he arrives, he digs a hole. Hence why we need the spade at this point. Now this is a very easy clue because it obviously refers to Bob from the Bob's Axes shop in Lumbridge, which is, again, I'm showing it on the map here, it is a stone's throw from the castle. So make your way over there. Normally I would speed these transitions, but we are so close, there's very limited point in doing so. Head over there and sort of take a step inside the shop. So you just stood in the doorway, and then refer back to the clue scroll. And from here, what I would say is kind of like orientate your screen to match the compass points on your map. North, south, east, west, that kind of thing. So get your camera facing north. That makes the transition much easier. So then you take 1 step east, which is directly out the door. So you stood 1 step outside the front door now. Then you take seven steps north. So that's 7 steps towards the pub that you came from. Then 5 steps west. That's 5 steps towards the castle. And then 1 step south. That's 1 step back on yourself, which leaves you level with the wall, like with the corner and the wall of Bob's shop. Now dig with the spade to find the next clue scroll. I found another clue scroll, which basically indicates the blueprint for Lumbridge Castle. And outside the back door of the castle, close to where the cook's assistant is. Again, I'll pop the quest guide I did for the cook's assistant up on the screen now for those who haven't done it. But just outside the back door there, close to where the kitchen is, you can see there's an X on the map. So we're going to try and find that location. It's very easy, and dig there again. So we're making our way along the back of the castle. If you can sort of make out the grass, we're going to kind of dig in the grass that grows adjacent to the wooden box outside the back door. And here we find a mysterious orb. Now, if anyone hasn't used any of these before, the mysterious orb essentially works by getting hotter. It's like a hotter and colder clue system. So it gets hotter the closer you get to the actual location of the treasure. Now, obviously, in this quest, it is a generic quest, so the treasure is in the same location every time. So when you do this quest, your treasure will be in the same place as me. You can see I regularly check, and you've got to head basically to Draynor village, north of the jailer used for Prince Ali rescue. Again, that's another quest guide I've got, so I'll put that up on the screen. And you want to be in the space you see here between the jail and the wheat farm to the north there, so the right hand side. But you want to be sort of on the Draynor village side. So I kind of mess about here, checking various areas. And you see where the ground turns a bit kind of browner. When you get to that point, that's when you're basically at the right point. And you need to start looking around. So you know you're at the right spot when the orb, you're on the right spot only when the orb says the description below, which is the orb is visibly shaking and burns to the touch. This must be the spot. Only when it reads that are you actually stood on the correct spot. If it says anything else, you will have to move around. Now there's a little bit of a cheat for standard clue scrolls, which I'll mention quickly now, which is if you use the Rune Light client, it'll basically give you the exact location on your map, so you can find it dead easy. The client will also solve a lot of the clues for you, so if you need to look for someone, you can kind of scan your map to try and find the right location. Just speak to that person. It's really useful, and you can also get a progress bar on the left hand side, which kind of tells you if you've got the right items to complete the current clue. It's really good, and it makes clue scrolls a much easier experience, rather than having to flick between windows to look for the guides for how to do them. We've got the next clue. Now what this is a cipher. It's an encrypted message. So you can see we've got ESBOZOPSQJHQFO, and you've got to kind of decode that. That'll be that's the name of a location somewhere in RuneScape where to dig for the next clue or the actual treasure chest. Now in this case, this is what they call a Caesar shift. Now I will put something in the description which explains this a lot better than I probably will explain it, and I'll obviously give you some workable examples. But what it means is you essentially encrypt your message by shifting the alphabet along. So if you move everything along by one letter, so A becomes B, B becomes C, C becomes D, etc, etc, and then rewrite the word using that cipher, that encrypts your message. Now in this case, here's the thing coming up on the screen. This is exactly what they've done. So B is actually A, E is actually D, etc, etc. So they've just shifted, they've done a Caesar shift and shifted the alphabet along by one letter, which spells Draynor Pigpen. There's only one Pigpen in Draynor village. There's no Pigpen in Draynor Manor, so it must be the village. So just head into the Pigpen. Now I don't know if I just got lucky or if you can just dig anywhere in here, but I just walked into the middle and used the spade, and hey presto, I got myself a casket. Unfortunately, you can't open the casket. All you get from Veos when you ask him what the treasure is kind of like some sort of dark cryptic clue about it sort of being something maybe a bit dodgy. Luckily at this point, you don't have to go back to Lumbridge, so you don't have to use your Lumbridge teleport, so do not teleport back to Lumbridge at this point. He said he'd be waiting for you at a ship in Port Sarum. It's literally the first ship there. You can see it on the screen right opposite the pub. The pub, which is also the start point for Pirate's Treasure, by the way. Another quest guide, which I'm going to fire up on the screen there. Go speak to Veos, give him his chest, and he is going to give you the reward for the quest, and hopefully that should be it. Quest completion. So tell him we found the casket, give it to him. He gives us an antique lamp, 200 coins, a beginner clue scroll, and 1 quest point. By the way, just a quick note with the beginner clue scroll, you will only get the clue scroll, so you can see how it hasn't appeared on mine, because I've already got a beginner clue scroll in the bank. So because I've already got a beginner clue scroll, you won't get another one. You can only have one at a time. so I will not get another clue scroll while I've got one in the bank. So that's well worth remembering. So now I'm going to use the lamp. Since I'm on my hardcore Ironman account, I've decided to put any extra XP into hit points. Having more hit points might be advantageous in me staying alive longer. And that draws the video to a close. So all that's left for me to say is, if you've enjoyed this video and it has been at all helpful, please like, subscribe, share, and leave a comment. I, the Lumbridge Knight, am here to serve you. And this is me signing off, so peace out, guys.